How many videos have you seen, James and Reggie, of white people acting a fool in front of the police, and they're giving them the benefit of the doubt?
I've seen so many.
They're giving them the benefit of the doubt.
So many.
I done seen a whole lot of black kids being acting a fool and talking shit where I would have been indicted and been in a federal penitentiary. To be honest.
I mean, they just took this mass shooter from a couple weeks ago into custody.
But now you got to adapt to the times. I'm talking about, I come from being a cop in the 80s and the 90s when it was a little bit different. You ran from the police, what you got? An ass whooping. It was expected. Okay. Prior to Rodney King and all of that, cops, it was expected. But you would have had to learn and adjust to it. And I'm just saying, these cops, hopefully they done learn and adjust to all of this.
So you think it should be just a yes, sir?
Not yes, sir. But comply. Here's my ID.
No,
here,
you don't
have
to comply all the time because you don't have to talk. The police can't just pull you over and say, "Bam."
Do y'all know it's a crime not to have over 18, not to have identification on you?
All right, you guys are talking on top of each other, and the listeners are going to have a hard time understanding what y'all talking about.
Exactly. What I'm saying is, when the police pull you over, if they talking to you cool, man, cooperate. Talk to the police. You ain't got to be an asshole, and you ain't got to get into no confrontation. That's the most and foremost thing you don't want to do, is be confrontational with the police, because you ain't going to win. And 9 times out of 10, this is what happened. You might just lose your life dealing and making the police mad at you, because you might get one of them racist officers, which we all know that they out there, that might take offense to being called a certain kind of name by a black person, which you're male or female. They picking up and they shooting women, they socking and body slamming our sisters. You see it all on TV, but we got to do better with ourselves opposed to sitting here and then just taking off on these police officers. We're not in a winning situation when it comes to that. So we got to stop and think. It ain't that serious. A traffic ticket is a fucking traffic ticket. Let's take it as that. Pay it. If you don't want to pay it, sit down in the county jail and do the time.
And what I always say, learn where to pick your battles at. That's all I ask for. And that's all I'm trying to train people to do. Pick where you pick your battles at.
I learned, Reg, that you can deal with the worstest police officer. You can reply, you can say yes, sir, you can say yes, officer, the whole 9. If he feel like he want to fuck with you, he's going to do it, regardless of what. When he tell you to turn around, when he kick your legs, man, you don't have to do me like that. I'm replying to what you asked me. I turn around, my hands are on the car. You don't have to kick my legs where I fall. You have officers that do that. They go to the extreme. If they come out on the beat that night feeling that way, that's how they're going to be tonight.
All right, the executive producer, Norman Steele, wants to chime in. Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt, fellas. I just want to ask a question. So if I'm a law-abiding citizen and I see a police officer handling my mama or my wife a certain kind of way and I intervene, do I have any recourse or action? Because that's like, at the end of the day, he's a man just like I'm a man with a job, but I can't sit up there and let him whoop on my wife or my mama.
Why is he whipping on your wife?
You might want to put him in that chokehold, get him from the back, and get him off your mama.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like it got to be sometimes you have to be able to defend yourself.
No, that ain't defending yourself, and that ain't defending her if she's doing something wrong.
That's how the 1965 riots jumped off, by the way.
And you plan, and you don't have a problem with. I wouldn't have a problem with dealing or paying with my actions for my crime if that happens.
I'll tell you a story one time. I was in North Long Beach, parked in front of my crib. I was living there then. That was a while ago. I was a young dude back then. Dude gave me a ticket. I said, cool, whatever, you know what I mean? Parked the car across the street. He was over there writing me another ticket like he was harassing me. So I went around the corner, and I had a little bit of money at that time, and he was out there, parked on the side. So I went and bought a box of donuts. I said, here you go, man. You're doing so much work today. I got a box of donuts for you. The next day, that man showed up at my door. Talk about, by the way, did you know you had a warrant for your arrest in 92? I said, man, 92, I wasn't even driving. I was going to school in New Mexico State. He came with somebody with a name that was close to mine, and they showed up there and took me to jail. And I was outside. This brother rode up on a motorcycle, true story, and said, man, just do what they say, because I'm here. They was mad at him for coming. He followed me way to the police station downtown Long Beach. They was gonna pack me out.
Exactly. See, what happens is
He wasn't taking you out. He was just taking you to jail for he was fucking with you. You got on his side. You try to be a smart ass, and he was showing you that I'm a smarter ass than you.
And he rode by my house every day.
But
he's showing you he got the pen.
Yeah.
I got the pen. I can put you in jail. I can make you sit in jail and
I
listen
used to
to
tell
them
niggas
keys for 12, 24 hours, and that's the worst motherfucking thing you do. Sit in the substation and listen
I was
to
a cop
the damn keys.
the same age as most of the guys that I was policing, because I started at a young age. And they used, oh, little Reg, you take that motherfucking gun and badge off you, I'll whoop your ass. And I used to just pull the pen out and say, but this is what's going to put your ass in the penitentiary, not this gun and this badge. It's what story I tell. This is more powerful than this gun and this badge. What put motherfuckers in the pen is the pen.
So you suggesting you could just say whatever you want to say on a police report and get someone a case, like,
Or eventually.
yeah.
Or eventually.
Like you see, I got took to jail for a fake ticket.
But that's my point.
But
a
see,
pen can put your ass in the pen.
that's the point.
Don't worry about
You
a
are
gun
not
and a
Eventually,
badge.
that karma gonna come back on your ass down the line for abusing that
I ain't
power.
never in my life planted or did anything wrong. And you can talk to any of the guys that I ever dealt with.
it's just
I ain't
basically-
never planted or did anything on motherfucker. I gave niggas more breaks than I did we had something called letter of the law or spirit of the law. I probably operated spirit of the law more than anything. I got in trouble for not writing tickets because I used to pull people over and stuff. And they say, well, Reggie, what type of people do you see at traffic accidents? And I'd be like, good people usually at traffic accidents. They said, right. That's why you need to write them tickets, because they are the ones that's out here, driving unsafely and all of that, and need to be reminded of laws and stuff like that. It ain't the gangbangers and the thugs that you mainly see in traffic accidents and stuff like that. My point is like that is you have something called spirit of the law and letter of the law, and I operated spirit of the law more than letter of the law than a lot of people.
Well, I think the attitude of local law enforcement when they deal with people of color is just nasty all the time.
Depends on where you at.
Like, for example, I got pulled over on Washington Avenue in L.A. for speeding once. And everyone who knows how I drive, I never speed. They call me the slowest driver. But this guy, I'm in an Escalade. He wants to pull me over, and he pulled me over before. Officer Flowers from the from Wilshire Division, LAPD. He pulls me over. He says, oh, yeah, Alex, I'm pulling you over for speeding. I said, I didn't speed. And he said, yeah, you sped. I'm pulling you over speeding. He takes my driver's license. He goes back to the car. His rookie partner's just there staring at me. And I told the rookie guy, I said, you going to let Officer Flowers treat me like this?
Did you hear what you said? The rookie officer.
Yeah, the rookie
so
officer.
What did you expect that rookie
I
officer to do?
wanted that rookie officer to know this is not going to work. So anyways, he comes back to the car, Officer Flowers. He says, Alex, just admit that you were speeding and I won't give you the ticket. And now, to me, that sounds so inappropriate. So if I just tell you I'm speeding, you're going to walk off? So I thought he was trying to run a trick on me. I said, nah, I wasn't speeding. So he gives me the ticket anyways. I decided, you know what? I did a beeline to Wilshire Division, spoke to the sergeant. I said, Officer Flowers is just inappropriate, ma'am. It was a female watch commander. And she took the ticket and she said, I'm ripping this up. Don't worry about it. You don't got to pay this ticket. And I say all of this to say, Officer Flowers just had a nasty attitude.
That's because you was an informant. That's why.
Oh, okay. Wow. He's gonna
And
put that
nine times out of 10, that officer with the nasty attitude, every time he see you, he gonna fuck with you.
Always. Now, back then I wasn't a professor. So when I get pulled over now, I still get pulled over in the same Escalade. I show my state ID, Cal State Long Beach professor, and you see how quick that attitude changes.
Yeah, they leave you alone.
Yeah, they leave me alone, and unfortunately, not all black people have something to use as a buffer to get that attitude.
No, it's
and the
because
attitude
they
adjustment of the
respect your
officers.
position. They don't respect that because you was a college professor and they scared because you have some cops, they tell you if you pull them over and they have a nasty attitude, you better write them a ticket, because if not, they're going to eventually be a complaint. But then you have an officer. I was trained. Anybody ever ask you for a break and you can extend it to them, you give them that break.